Hey everybody, welcome back to Bleeding Cool's weekly review of Preacher Season 3 as we take a look at the fourth episode of this season, The Tombs. And let me start off by saying that these are the reviews that I love to do because this episode was the best episode of the season. I'm going to jump right into what the highlights are because it's going to give you all the reasons why I think this is the best episode of the season. Granted, we're 4 episodes in, but I will put this on par with the best episodes of the first 2 seasons also. So I'm going to take a look at 5 things, my 5 major takeaways that made this episode so strong. First, tone, pacing, and dialogue. You had a great combination of action, momentum, and storyline movement. And I'll talk about some of the storyline moments in a second. But I think I can't emphasize the dialogue enough. The scenes between Tulip and Madame Boyd, where we get a lot of backstory and a lot of explanation as to how things got up to where they are just really amazing, crackling scenes. And the other example I give is the conversation between Jesse and Cassidy as Jesse is putting pieces of Cassidy into a box to send him away. Even the back and forths, if you have to listen in between their lines for little things, especially that Cassidy says. There's a great line where he goes, "Ow, my dick," when Jesse's putting body parts in the box. It harkened back to all the best things that I loved about the first 2 seasons. And again, I thought the first 3 episodes really built up to this. I know I was a little hesitant about the last week's episode, about where they needed to go from this point forward. They really did in this episode. It really feels like we are building towards something. Along with that lines, and I know we mentioned this before, Dominic Cooper and Ruth Negga, this is their episode for 2 in completely different reasons. Again, I know I've talked about Ruth Negga and her ability to really embrace the silences. She does so much in this episode. We see her processing and dealing with all this information she's taking in about Jesse. The look on her face and her eyes when she sees Jesse in the tombs and what went down with Cassidy and the way he just impaled Cassidy with that broken piece of wood. Everything played out in those moments, and she just really owned the episode. As did Dominic Cooper, who I thought really got a chance to kind of unleash a lot of built-up energy from the previous 3 episodes. The hat flipping sequence, which I'm going to have to really learn how to do for my cosplay, I thought was fantastic. I thought it was great, and I thought it showed him flip-flopping between the Jesse he was and the Jesse he wants to be. And again, I just thought they both just knocked it out of the ballpark. Prema Cruz, Madame Boyd, I thought was fascinating. I thought we got a lot of great backstory about the personal connection between her and Jesse when they were younger, the heartbreak of what Jesse had to do to essentially protect her, and then what ended up happening to her brother. The only thing I'm going to say is this. My speculation in this regards, I think Dog got a hold of her and told her to tell Tulip to kill Gran'ma, because there's no way killing Gran'ma is just going to go that easily. There's no way. I just feel like this is a setup, and remember, Dog has always said he relies on a hair screwing up, and I think that's what this is a setup for too. I can't help it, but again, and I think that says a lot from Ms. Cruz, just the fact that Madame Boyd doesn't come across as just like, hey, Grandma's evil, so we have to have really the nice mystic, and I think there's nice nuances and layers there I thought she did a fantastic job with. The Saint-Devil twist. First off, we know the Saint's going to get some comeuppance on the Devil for that whole whipping throughout the entire episode. But the idea essentially of the Devil's got plans, but he's got to clean up some stuff, that he's got Arseface and Hitler running around loose, and that he's sending the Saint after them, but can't use his guns, which I think is interesting because you see the Devil being a little more concerned with public relations than the Angels were when they unleashed the Saint. So I thought that was an incredibly interesting dynamic. Again, I'm looking forward to the payback because there's just no way the Saint's going to let that go unanswered at any point. And then finally, I got to say, the Cassidy storyline. I thought it was a great wrap-up. I thought they didn't go cliche. I think we're moving Cassidy to another separate storyline, but that we see from the presence of Featherstone is still going to connect into the main storyline overall. Joseph Gilgun sold the heartbreak in that scene with Tulip in the car so amazingly well, and the softness with which he spoke his words, and that choice he makes about, that really wasn't a choice. That old part of him would have used it, but he knew full well what was the point of having Tulip if Tulip only wants him because of magic and witchcraft and not because she actually has feelings for him. I thought that was great. I'm really looking forward to see where that storyline goes too. So again, all in all, I just thought this was an amazing episode, a strong episode, really good one building up and moving forward. Very interested to see how the Grail is going to be integrated in this next episode with the presence of Featherstone. So I got to make sure that I check the trailer for that. But again, we do have 5 takeaways with regards to quotes I want to make sure that I get to. And what's bad for me is just bad. probably the understatement when it comes from the devil. Pretty girl like that wouldn't do so good down here. TC, who's proving to be a dramatically better, more interesting character than the way TC was presented in the comic book. Not trying to do a good or bad, yin or yang. Television, you have to do more, but TC's become a very, very interesting character. I go to where the spirit leads me. Jody, very sarcastically, and I think not just said in front of Jesse, but I think to twist the knife in Jesse in regards to his father. I'm tired of doubting you, Jesse, and I'm real tired of you not trusting me with shit. Tulip breaking down the biggest problem that she's had with her relationship with Jesse this entire episode run, and I think it says it right there. Man, this place sucks. Tulip. And then I'm going to end with the fitting line that I think we're all as viewers going to have to take into consideration moving forward, where Jesse just looks at her and goes, "You just wait." And I think that's what we're going to have to do, because things are just going to get crazy from here, folks.